Barney and Betty Hill, Jay. What do you know about them?
Yeah. Well, I got a chance to watch. I did get a chance to watch a documentary on Max streaming.
Okay.
Little tiny plug there for them. They have some pretty interesting documentaries, but this one was good. It included some of the recordings and some pretty interesting details that I found
Okay.
found fascinating. Right? Yeah. So
anyways, what we're going to do
you
here
gonna go
now
ahead and
is,
recap and
yeah, I'll give it a quick recap, man. So basically, everybody join us. Tonight's episode is going to be about the Barney and Betty Hill incident. This incident went down in September 19th, 1961, in a very rural part of New Hampshire. And the story goes along these lines that there was a couple, Barney and Betty Hill, were traveling back from Niagara Falls, and they were abducted by aliens. So, we actually made on this channel a quick little YouTube short back in the day. I'm going to stick that in the video right here, and afterwards when you come back, we'll talk about it some more. So, watch this YouTube short.
On the night of September 19th, 1961, Betty and Barney Hill are driving home from a vacation in Niagara Falls, when they claim to have been stopped by an alien saucer, with 11 gray-skinned humanoid figures observing them from the craft's windows, wearing glossy black uniforms, having large black eyes and communicating with them telepathically. The next thing they remember, they arrive home around dawn, but could not recall the last several hours, and for many days after, both experienced night terrors and strange feelings. After finally reporting the incident and receiving hypnotherapy treatment, the Hills describe a terrifying alien abduction, where experiments had been performed on them. Despite being very controversial, the Hills never changed their story, never tried to profit from it, and accurately recalled the incident for the rest of their lives. Subscribe and thumbs up this video, or the same will happen to you.
Okay, now we're back. Right. So, okay, Jay, so you ready? And this is also, too, sticking within our theme, right? Like we apologized to Roswell at the beginning of the year, and then our last podcast was about the Patterson-Gimlin film, the very first I think it was around the same time, 1960-something, Bigfoot film that was coming out of Six Rivers National Park in California. And I thought, you know what, let's just stick with this, what was my very first UFO phenomenon video that I saw. Obviously, I didn't see this. I saw this like probably 10 years ago when I started getting like kind of interested in this type of stuff. But so yeah, this was the very first thing, the very first UFO phenomenon abduction story that I ever read, and like it kind of got its hooks in me, because I'll tell you why. As we progress through the story here, these people have a good reason never to talk about this. And they got they got a couple good reasons, and it was no benefit for them whatsoever to come forward and talk about this. So anyway, so let's dig into this, Jay. So,
and that's kind of why that's kind of my take on it is these are two very prominent people, who came forward with a story and essentially ended any kind of career that they had kind of started to build for themselves.
Yeah, so just to give you a background on that, Barney, both of these people were respected members of their communities. They were actually considered community leaders. They were active in their church. Barney was the postman. He delivered the mail. Everybody knew Barney Hill, right? He worked at the post office.
Military guy.
Yeah,
really smart.
Smart dude. Betty was a social worker, was involved in all kinds of other stuff. They were in 1961. They were both involved in the Civil Rights Act stuff that was going on back then. So
he was actually on the Civil Rights Committee for the local chapter.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So
that's they were a very progressive couple for the time.
Yeah. Well, so by the way, they were interracial. Barney was black. Yeah. I know that that's actually the second black dude I know named Barney, believe it or not. So Barney was black, Betty was white. 1961, you had to be brave just to get down in that area, no matter what, right? So I don't know, like
I mean, it's not even, dude. Vermont was no different. It was not the South, right?
But
it wasn't like it was
Yeah.
It was only a little tiny bit better because it was rural New England.
Rural,
dude.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and like it wasn't
like,
West Virginia, but like I mean, no offense to West Virginia, but West Virginia in the '60s was rough for interracial couples. There's actually a really good document about a white dude who married a black girl in West Virginia. They came
dude, let's just face it.
They were going to kill him.
In 1961, it was rough to be. It was rough to be an interracial couple anywhere.
Yeah, right, for sure.
In America.
So, anyways, so first of all, Jay, I got some questions I want to wrote down here. So that right there to me is like, okay, you'd want to stay low on the radar, right? But so this story didn't benefit, like there was no like.
Yeah, and they didn't actually break it themselves. What was interesting to me is they being the people that they were and the upstanding citizens that they were, they tried to go about it the right way.
Right, they did.
Right?
Seeking help and counseling and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
Well, not only that, but just they reported it to the Air Force. Like first, that's where they went to first.
I didn't know that.
And it was a really interesting documentary, man. It was detailed. It had some really good details in there. It's the one on Max. But yeah, it was fascinating, dude. They went about it the right way.
All right. So before we get into this, I did my. You already know where I'm going to say. So, true or not?
What do I think?
What do you think?
Ooh, I can give you. The problem is that my brain immediately came up with a what if scenario.
Right.
Right.
Look at you, you're such a politician, man. I gave you a straight up yes or no question, man, and you started like.
I honestly think that something happened to them.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. The voices on those tapes, that was genuine fear in someone's voice. So either they were being manipulated during the hypnotist session, who he was also an army hypnotist.
Oh, okay.
And hypnosis in and of itself has some
repercussions there
with memory, right?
You ever seen anybody hypnotized?
I have not. I've never been like to a hypnotist show. No.
You actually know somebody though, and I'll tell you, they went there we know a person, a man, who went and got hypnotized to try to quit smoking.
Okay.
And I will tell you at the podcast who it is. And he.
No, I know who it is.
He said they did stuff to him. He claims they did stuff to him, man. I don't know. So like, I don't want to put his name out, man. But I'll tell you.
Consider the source, though. I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
Quit smoking. Anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, I've never had encounters with hypnotism. I've done a little research on it, just kind of curious. But I've never witnessed it myself. I approach it with skepticism, especially when it comes to memory, man, because human memory is so.
To me, man, I just don't understand how that could possibly work. How could you relax me to the point where you could, like, I'm just way too tense for that, man. Like, way too like unrelaxable, I guess, for you to be able to like.
Well, I mean, some people are more susceptible than others, right? Like that's the thing, right? Some people are more. I don't know. I'm almost so curious. I want to go see if somebody can hypnotize me.
You don't want to. I don't want them unlocking your head, man.
But that's the problem, though. I don't really trust anyone enough to allow them to hypnotize me. So, yeah, it would have to be a pretty special hypnotist.
Yeah, no, for sure. But let
anybody mess with my head.
No, yeah, exactly right.
That'd be bad.
You wouldn't get invited back, man.
Right, bad things could come out of there.
Exactly. You ain't getting back. With me though, man, like I believe, right, and like but that's like it's damn near hard for me not to believe when I go through it on it. But like I've also like I looking at what we know now, right? I have some pretty interesting theories that we can go into as we go along the way here. Something happened, right? And I think we're at this point now where at 2024, where we need to stop saying, are these things real? Yeah, they're real. They're here. What we need to be asking is what are they? Where are they from?
So,
yeah. like what are?
I'm not going to debate that we're seeing things in the sky for sure.
And what do they want? Right? Like, what do they want? Like, what are they? So here, so like, I know, like, I've got into some pretty good conversations, right? That like, they're extraterrestrials, they're interdimensional, they're demons, they're the KGB, dressed up.
Okay, so can we do the demon thing real quick while you mention it?
Yeah. What's
the freaking difference between a demon and an alien?
Yeah, intent, I guess.
Really though?
Here's my so check it out, right? So like so.
If it's a non-terrestrial entity, does it even really matter?
True. So I would say the difference would be, I think I oversimplified that, right? So like if you're from Saturn and you're in our dimension already, then I would say you're an alien. Like if you're extraterrestrial, like extra dimensional or whatever, yeah, man, you could be like we're supposed to have like
extra dimensional in the sense of from some kind of weird unknown pocket of not known physics place.
Yeah, isn't there supposed to be like 11 realms?
Okay, so
not the trigger.
When you're getting into string theory and all that stuff, right? So. Like string theory calls for I think it's between 9 and 11 different dimensions.
Yeah,
right?
Dimensions is what I was looking for. Yeah,
but there's never been anything to support string theory.
So go back 2 podcasts ago and say become a theoretical physicist and just make up tracks.
Right.
So, yeah,
and then it makes millions, make 70s of thousands of dollars while you sit in a lab and try to prove something that's unprovable. That's awesome.
Just work on my math, man. Just work on my math.
No, I mean, I think there's value to the study of it. It's a theory, just like the rest of them, right? Not even Einstein's general relativity theory is law, right? It's a theory. We haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet. There's a lot of shit we don't know, right?
A lot. So something happened, right? Yeah. So something happened.
Yeah. So I do agree something happened, right? I also kind of think that they were a target, though.
So check this out. So maybe, to give a little detail, I know everybody watched that short, but they were coming home from Niagara Falls. This thing was in the sky. Betty saw it. Barney was driving. Betty actually had a pair of binoculars. She was eyeballing it, right? Thing landed in the middle of the road. They got out. They described them as your typical grays, because they were big black eyes, gray skin.
Suits, big black, so yeah.
Wearing, I think they were wearing black suits or whatever, speaking telepathically. They took Betty, they took Barney, they did things to him, they experimented on him, do whatever, whatnot, and they came back.
I think that's where the whole anal probe thing originated from.
It's possible, right? Like they took bodily fluids, right? And so,
well, they did a pregnancy. The way that it was described was they did a pregnancy test, and on Betty, that was rather unpleasant, and
semen extraction, right, from Barney, right? That's what he was saying they did to him, right? Yeah. And so, I don't even know how that would work. It sounds painful. So
it doesn't. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't sound pleasant, but yeah. Anyway.
So they came back, had night terrors, all this other stuff. They knew something wrong. Experience, like, it's checking all the boxes, man. Like loss of time, memory loss, hypnosis regression. Barney was, that dude was terrified, man. Like those screams were, those were some primal screams, right?
He was really scared.
Yeah, truly. He was really scared, and it came back to him. And man. So like something happened to these people, right? These 2 people, right?
For sure.
And so like, but to me, so
sure.
I've moved past that. Like, I it happened. I just want to know. Like, my thing is like, why?
Like, why? Can I offer an alternative?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get into this. Come on.
All right. So, 1960s in America, especially centered around the civil rights movement, was a pretty vicious time in our history.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that at the time that this was during a period of MKUltra.
Oh, you're going down this rabbit hole, right? I do not, I'm out of tinfoil. All right, so I'm just letting you know, man. Like,
okay, well, I mean, let's acknowledge something, right? Again, MKUltra, I know it's the source of a huge amounts of conspiracy theory, right? However,
to give you credit, though, it was real. The CIA, MKUltra files.
The fact that it's real.
Absolutely, man. That is Public Information Act. You can go out on that website. You can go. I think you can go to like one of the CIA websites and like get it or whatnot.
Yeah, it's no, they did stuff to people.
Yeah,
Bad stuff.
MKUltra mind control was real.
A Nazi scientist working with them. It was just like a poisoner, right? Who would come up with crazy stuff.
Operation Paperclip is when we took the scientists after the end of the war. They came back. They were here, so they were Nazis. So.
Yeah, and so part of that whole thing, and I'm not saying that this was like an MKUltra op.
You can't rule it out, though. Go ahead.
What I am saying is this: during that period of time, there was a lot of hallucinogenics flying around, right? When they brought it over from Europe, it just started flying around, literally, like all kinds of studies and whatever. If a group wanted to get a hold of something like that and damage the reputation of someone who was prominent, right, and wanted to test their effects of hallucinogens, and it just smells like a targeted kind of thing to me, right?
Really?
You could create an experience like that with drugs,
so
and then leave them kind of like damaged to a certain extent, like, you know what I mean? Like, this could my purpose is to be the one who looks at it completely differently, right? And so I looked at the background of these people and where they were going before they got to here, right? They were prominent people. They were civil rights activists, and they were pretty good at it.
Right.
These were prominent people who were on their trajectory to do good things for that movement, and got completely derailed by all of this.
No, it definitely dominated the rest of their lives, man. And they never, and
it really did.
They never wavered on their story. Never tried to make any money on it. So I'll give you that one, man. But to me, I go in an opposite direction here. Is that it is just so random, right? Like it's just, and the fact that they went with the alien side of it, right? Wasn't demons. They didn't say demons. They didn't say anything else like that. It was aliens. They were aliens, right? That they went on that route. And this was the first of its kind thing. They didn't have. It wasn't like people were getting snatched up all across America, right? And so, it was a new thing.
But there were a lot of sightings
that we knew. Yeah, there was a pretty good amount of sightings on that. So so you're right. You go the MKUltra route, and then a lot of the.
I'm just offering that as an alternative explanation. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe them, and I'm not saying that there's some good evidence on both sides. So,
so
it's
here's
an
the thing.
Interesting
So here's
case.
the thing. Here's the thing I got for you, man. Have you heard the? We're gonna do a podcast about this too. Did you hear about red lens night vision goggles in Vietnam? Did you hear about this?
I have.
So basically, people, if you're watching this, the very first renditions of night vision were red lenses, right? And
I remember. Do you remember the little the little flashlight that you could clip on?
Yeah.
The little military surplus.
I have
red lens.
And so in Vietnam, they gave night vision goggles first to door gunners and helicopters and a couple other people down there, but officers and pilots weren't wearing them. But there was these stories about these door gunners. They would obviously night vision, use them at night. They would fly these missions at night, but these door gunners were seeing what they said was demons in the sky, right? And then some people tried to say and come back and say that, oh no, what happened was the chemicals in the night vision. Complete BS, and I'll tell you why.
Right.
The most famous story, I can't remember his name, was it was a helicopter was flying somewhere, a door gunner starts opening fire, shooting level
at the demon. Right.
At the demon. The demon recognizes that he can see him, and the demon starts coming to him. everybody else in the helicopter are screaming, "Yo, stop shooting!" And the officer reaches over there and snatches the night vision goggles off his head to get him to stop. And he goes, "What are you doing?" He's like, "It's coming." He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Look, look, look." And he puts it to his head, and he sees it. He sees the demon flying at him, right? He slings it down real quick, and he's like, "What the F?" Going back and forth. So it wasn't, he had it on his eyes for like 3 seconds and saw it. There was no seepage in there. And there was this other guy, dang, I'm drawing a blank, man. There was this other dude back in the day, in the early 80s, if you went to certain movie theaters, they would give you 3D glasses. One lens was red, one lens was blue. One of these dudes that was in Vietnam was able to recreate that, the red lens using those glasses, and could see stuff. And that's why they stopped giving those glasses out to everybody. They don't use those 3D glasses anymore, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so there is a realm. There is a realm out there. Like if you're alive in 2024 right now, and you think that our world is mundane and boring, you are a dum-dum. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I think it was Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn said, "Man, all you got to do right now is be alive and pay attention." And you're like, "What in the actual F is going on?" Right? Like,
yeah,
we live in a very, very
strange
times, and every theology. I'm a Christian, Jay's a Christian. Every theology talks about spirit worlds. So there's definitely a world like that close to us that we're not supposed to go into. They're not supposed to go into. And that's why that MKUltra is so dangerous, man. Because I actually have my own little theory on psychedelics, man. Mushrooms. You should never take mushrooms, man, and never take LSD. I think that breaks the barrier down in your mind. And you blend into that world. Yeah.
Which world?
The spirit world. And so, and there's things there that want to hurt you, right? So like, there's things there that's not your friend, right?
Right.
And I'll tell you what, man, too. Like, so Betty and Barney Hill, prominent leaders upcoming, get snatched up.
That was my thought. It's been done before,
bro.
Right?
I wouldn't rule it out.
Where
man.
they've tried to discredit people using drugs and trying to get them to look crazy and discredit them. I mean, they've done it with, it's happened up until modern times with people leaking Twitter photos and leaking Snapchat stuff from politicians.
Jeffrey Epstein killed himself.
Yes. Yeah. That's the story, isn't it?
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for crimes where no one has ever been prosecuted for. Let that sink in. Right.
Bro, that whole situation.
So absolutely don't rule anything out, man. Right? Absolutely.
That is the story of the 21st century, and no one is covering it.
How is this chick in jail and no one's been arrested or prosecuted? Dude, she's in jail for crimes. So anyways.
That is the tip of the iceberg, man. I just
believe it, man. So, but anyways, that's another podcast. But look,
yeah,
I'm not ruling that out, man. I'm not ruling that out with Betty and Barney Hill, man. And I don't rule out a lot of things that I see that are coming to light now. Like the internet, man, is undefeated. It's undefeated, bro. Like
yeah,
cell phones on cameras, man, and the internet is undefeated, right? So
yeah, well, it's done such a huge service to the human race, and we're only kind of scratching the surface of what it's done. But I mean, think about this for a minute. Like, even just in the sense of what we've been able to capture on film, on cell phones in this kind of area, right? Where people have captured, craft flying overhead and cell phone film. And it's kind of indisputable now. I mean, everyone has to admit we have hard evidence of something flying around that we don't know what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
No one has an explanation. And I think that the big secret with the U.S. government is that they don't know either, by and large. Yeah. I think they farmed it out to contractors, and the contractors have.
That's a theory. That's a theory that I'm going to right now. So I actually, Jay and I were military for a long time, and so everybody that, if you've never been in the military before, or if you were in the military, you can back me up in the comments on this. We ain't all good guys.
Yeah.
So like a lot of guys I've known, like, Jay will back me up on this. I was a different man in my youth, and violence was my go-to on solving a lot of problems, right? And it wasn't always the best way. But I knew guys that even made me be like, yo, man, like, I do not want to be anywhere near this nutcracker right here, because this dude right here, dude, like,
not going to be end well for anyone.
I might kill him first if it jumps off. I might do that, right? Unless he's in the front, right? Like, I might have to handle this guy myself, man, because I'm definitely not going to sleep with this guy around me, right?
No.
So I actually think that, man, that, like, there are Lockheed Martin, right? I actually think you're right, man. There was a great book, Jay, you should go read, man. It's called The Day After Roswell, and it was talking about this Army major. I can't remember his name or whatever. We did a podcast about it. He farmed out bits and pieces of the craft to what we call, basically it is Lockheed Martin now. But and they developed it. But I actually think that Lockheed Martin and a couple of these other guys, maybe I can't remember their names or whatever, but
yeah, you've got Raytheon,
that's the other one. Yeah.
SAIC, all these little shadowy government contractors.
So check this out, right? Do not rule this out. Money is key when guys get out of the military. We come out with a very, depending on what you did, you come out with a very specific.
You're not getting paid much in the military. You're just not.
But you come out with, the military is great at making stupid people look smart. And what they do is you take somebody that's a dum-dum, and I've done this before, and you usually get paired with them, like, yo, McKinney, this guy's with you. And I'm like, I don't want that dude. Like, I don't care, you got him. Like, if he fails, you fail. I'm like, for real? I'm like, I'll tell you what, you ain't failing. I will beat you if you fail, right? Like, so, like, you stand over him, and he's like, do it again. You've seen it, man. Do it again.
Yeah,
do it again. Do it again.
I was that guy for a minute.
Well, it's like a hot minute. You're smarter than most of them. Man. Like, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. And so if you got out of the military, right? You've been in there for 10 years, like we were in there. You're in there for 10 years. You come out. You got some skills and some. You kind of know how it works. If Lockheed Martin said, "Hey, look, I want you to come work for me. You're gonna do half of what you did in the military. I'm going to pay you 10 times more. And what we're going to do is when one of these UFOs crashes, you're going to jump in one of our prototype airplanes, right, that looks like a UFO, fly there, and you're going to recover it. But what if people are already there? If people are already there, that's what I pay you for. Clean it, right?
I got a call when I got out.
Right.
Hey, you want to go to Puerto Rico? Lie, dude. It was I remember it perfectly because I had gotten out, and when I got out, I flew from Japan and like bounced around and then ended up in Annapolis, and that's kind of where I was staying, right? But I processed out through Anacostia, and when I drove from Anacostia to Annapolis, I got probably most of the way there, and I got a phone call because I had a cell phone at the time, like one of those old school freaking, what was it, the Nokia indestructible bricks, right? And it was like, hey, your clearance, is still good. Would you like to maintain that? And we have some business opportunities. We have some contracting opportunities for you if you'd like to go to Puerto Rico for 18 months.
So anyways.
And it was like, and they said, here's the dollar figure. And I was like, damn. So when I got out, man, I got a phone call from one of your good friends. And he said to me, and he works for the State Department right now, but when he was out of the Navy or whatever, he said, hey, bro. I know.
Come down here with me and help me repossess yachts from Bahamas. I need you to work security. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, man. So we're going to go down there. We're going to repossess these yachts. We're going to sell them back into Miami. And I was like, bro, people are on them. He's like, yeah, but we'll just get them off. So I was like, look, man, no, I'm not. I'm going to try to do something a little bit along the lines, man, of not that. Where I'm taking a spear gun in the back, just climbing on a yacht off the coast of the Bahamas, man, to sell these bad boys back.
No, I think
It was 20 grand a run though. It was 20 grand a run. And I was like, nah, man, I'm trying something different in my life, dude. But yeah, so
they dangle, and so the same thing. Like if I'd have gotten to Puerto Rico, right? If they'd have hit me, probably like 3 to 4 weeks later,
right,
I'd have been to Puerto Rico, right? Because at that point, I was having a hard time finding a job.
When you were hungry,
that terminal leave was running out, and I could hear the days ticking by, and the resumes are flying, and not getting phone calls, and
you're not getting a monster email saying, "Hey, look, we'd like to interview." Yeah, I know that, man. Believe
it. And so Puerto Rico was looking nice, and if they would have just tempted me with something like a little, like, here, look at this. Yeah, that's
so. Anyways, thing. Anybody watching this channel, that's an opportunity that goes into, and some of the guys that come out have no moral compass, so I could see.
Yep,
being brought in.
I mean, we already know, right? So, companies like SAIC and Raytheon and they all do these skunkworks challenges all the time, right? Like, how do we do this? How do you make that work, right? And so, like, you know that they're poaching people who come up with these interesting solutions to these problems, and then they're taking those people that can come up with these interesting solutions, and then they're putting them in front of some shit that they have no idea what it is. Do you know? Yeah, right?
For sure.
I feel like that's the thing.
So
because there's no other way to have plausible deniability within the government.
Nah, like I said. And then also too, man, a lot of people get out of the government and go become contractors. Like they go like the ring knockers, man. Like how many officers do we know that went to Annapolis and then they got out and next thing you know they have their own IT company and then they just
revolving door.
They just won the new IT contract and I'm like, okay. Yeah. So anyways, man, that's the rules of the game. If you want to get in that game, y'all, that's how it goes. It is. But anyway, so look, check it out, bro. So yeah, I think that's what it is, man. I think a lot of the stuff we see is Raytheon and skunkworks projects that the government doesn't even know anything about, and that I do think we're getting visited. Don't get me wrong, man. I do think that it's funny, man.
Something coming. I mean, it's kind of indisputable. Like even I've been skeptical of the UFO thing my whole life, right?
Right.
I know a lot about, I guess, astronomy, right? Not necessarily astrophysics, but astronomy, right? Like our solar system is really big, right? There's a lot of stuff out there that people don't really think about too much. I mean, we're surrounded by this huge cloud of asteroids.
Yeah.
Right? Like to get here.
There used to be a planet that was destroyed during the intergalactic war.
Okay. It's the remnants of Nibiru, right?
No, Nibiru's way out there. No, this was in the Nabal-Givavad or whatever, man. I just destroyed that, whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Oort cloud, right? This is like one-ish light years kind of out, right? Yeah. And just where we are in the galactic neighborhood.
Oh, we're in the hood.
I feel like this is West Virginia.
Yeah, but we're definitely on that.
Dude, this is Mississippi.
Yeah. So somebody cracked the funny joke. Yeah, we can make fun of Mississippi. We grew up in the South, but yes, somebody cracked the joke the other day, man, saying that basically we're getting the redneck UFOs, the ones that break down on the side of the highway or what.
Basically, yeah, we're getting like the outliers, man. Why would you here's the thing that has always gotten me, right? If I have a ship that can literally travel between stars,
right,
and I wreck it, how much of an asshole am I?
Yeah.
Right? So if I've wrecked on this planet, something horribly has gone horribly wrong.
I actually got a theory on that, though.
Way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
There's no civilization anywhere around. Because, I mean, okay, so the closest couple stars are fairly close, like 1 or 2 and 3 light years away.
Yeah.
Right? We got nothing.
Bro,
silence.
I actually think, man, that we got the tech, man, to knock them out of the air. That's what I think, man. I think that we can knock them down. There's no, like you said, there's no way that many UFOs are crashing, right? There's no way, right? Like, so like there's a reported, man, like this one of these leakers came out, said that like in the 90s alone, there was 25, right? In the 90s, right? Like with a 10-year period, man, there was 25 in a 10-year period.
I think that the frequency, the documented frequency is increasing because it's less refutable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'll take the Tic Tac video because that's one of my favorites, right? Mm-hmm. You've got a dude who is a decorated naval pilot.
That's a good video.
Who is coming in and approaching it and banking and really treating this as a first contact scenario, right? Like trying and witnesses all of this stuff and gets it all on camera. It's kind of irrefutable at that point. This isn't a natural phenomenon, right? It moves in a way that we don't understand.
Yeah.
Without an advanced level of physics beyond ours, right? And so, like, there's too much hard evidence. You can't deny it anymore.
Yeah, he made a good statement that really won me over, man. Is that how he said that it went from 30,000 feet to 10,000 feet in like 2 seconds. You can't even fall that fast, right? So you can't fall out of the sky that fast, right?
Yeah.
And so then I was like, yeah, man, that was just like, and that just me. I was like, man, that is weird. Like, so it was accelerating down, like it wanted to get there.
The voices on the film are what do it for me,
right?
Because you can't fake that reaction.
Yeah, the human reaction is something, man, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. No.
And so the camera is picking it up, and then the human reaction to the thing makes me believe in it. Now, is it aliens? I don't know. Here's my thought, and I'm going to offer an alternative always. Wouldn't it be interesting if it was just us?
Possible.
And we're figuring out time travel.
Right.
And we're popping back to the last known huge event that we know of, right? These are some troubled times, right?
Yeah, that's the truth. I told somebody the other day, man, that like you don't have to worry about America after 2024 because either it's going to break and we're going to go into some literal Hunger Games level stuff. By the way, the Southeast will win. Don't bet your ass on that right there, right?
The South will rise again.
Look, man. If that's another podcast, man. We should do that, man. We should break it down to districts, man. Like Texas to Virginia down to Florida, they're winning. Right. So,
there's a guy who did this in the 70s. He drew a map. Yeah. It was crazy. He drew a map of what the United States would look like if it ever broke up.
They're going to win. But my thing is that with the yeah, that would be not even a close contest, man. Anyways, let me stay on point right here. What we're talking about is that if it was us coming back in time, man, so America is going to fix itself in 2024. Either we're going to get it together, or it's going to burn to the ground. And you can bet all you got on it right now, man, because we cannot go on like this anymore. And anybody watching this podcast that's not in this country, man, 90% of Americans, I believe this with my fullest heart, man. 90% of Americans are great people, and they just want this peace, man. No more wars, no more. Just stop, man.
Be left alone, right?
You got 5% over here that are just out of their dang mind, and you got 5% over here that are just out of their dang mind, and they are screaming at each other. And we're like right here in the middle, like,
right? Please, shut the fuck up.
Shut up, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, just be quiet, man.
Yeah.
And so, like, it is either going to right itself. Like, so I've talked to some people, man, like, yo, man, do you feel safe in America? And I'm like, yeah, bro, literally, it ain't as bad as you think, right? It's just that I can only imagine if I was like overseas looking at us, be like, these guys are nuts, right?
Looks like mass chaos right now. Yeah, no.
But it's going to work itself out, man. I actually think, dude, that like I feel something in the air, man. I know it's going to get all like weird, but like I feel a change coming, man. I really do, man. I feel something positive like happening. And like, I know for a fact, man, if you're driving down the middle of the road and it's pouring rain and you see a car broken down and there's some people there, 9 out of 10 times, I'll even give you one further, man. I'll say, okay, 8 out of 10 times, you people will stop. Like, hey, man, hey, get in the truck, man. Nah, y'all, we'll come back tomorrow, man. Let me take you to the gas station. Let's call you a tow truck. Right. You can't just sit here in case those 2 come along out of the 8, right?
Yeah.
Let's get in here, man, and go with it. We're not at each other's throats, man. But at the same time, man, it's just like, it's got to stop, dude. We can't sustain, right?
I think, you know what I think needs to happen? I think, it's funny. We hear a lot about, millennials and boomers and blah, 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 blah. And Gen X is kind of this forgotten, like, middle child and all of this nonsense.
We're the last of the feral kids. That's why, man.
Right. The true latchkey kids, right? But I think at this point, it's time for Gen X to step forward. And
I thought the same thing, man, and I need to put merry-go-rounds back on the playgrounds, man.
Right.
They need to put those back out there and toughen and give these kids some cuts and bruises, man.
Right.
So if anybody watching this, there's not a Gen X. There was a commercial used to come on TV when we were kids. It says, "Parents, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are at?" There was a commercial to remind every night at 10 o'clock for your parents to check on your kids because they didn't give a shit. We weren't around. We were in the yard. We were outside doing something, right? And it's like, I don't know, man. I feel that we were the last of the truly not arrogant, self-sufficient generation, right? Like, so boomers will love to tell you, man, how great they were and how bad we suck and how we can't.
Well, here's the thing: the boomers, or something like that. They kind of betrayed everything that they stood for in the beginning, right? It was the war and it was the war protests and the peace, love, and understanding. And then all of a sudden they had kids and they're like, you guys are not allowed to do any of the things that we did.
Exactly right.
And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we grew up in a time where we had like, you couldn't have sex because everybody had AIDS, or you were led to believe so. You weren't allowed to do drugs because you had no idea which friend was going to rat you out to Dare or whoever. And so we were all repressed and angry about it.
Yeah.
And, like, we grew up that way. We were
isolated. All basically told to leave at 18. You had to move.
And like, good luck, buddy. Go find a job. And it was like, all right, let's sweep the floor at Sheets.
Yeah. That's great. I was busting tables at Shoney's.
Right. So, I mean, I think it's time for the resilient generation to step up and teach a little bit of resiliency, right? We're the ones who fought all these battles so that these kids could choose which bathroom they wanted to go into.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that, man.
Right? You guys just need to just look at the real priorities, right?
I know we're kind of off topic here a little bit.
Yeah, we're all
I knew that we had it too good in America when the two things started happening, right? I swear, man.
Yeah.
The first thing is they were TV shows about who had the best cheeseburger, right? And so like we're literally like super chef Bobby Flay. I'm like, yo, he makes a cheeseburger. It's a cheeseburger, right? You can't really make, and it's a cheeseburger I wouldn't eat. Oh, look, it's got Gouda bled and purple onions.
Rutabaga on it.
And then look, here's an octopus that goes right on top of it, right? And I want to pour some Thousand Island. Yeah, I'm not eating that trash, man. Right?
Right.
That and the whole bathroom thing, man, that they spent so much time arguing. There's too much time on. We're too fat. We got it too good. But anyways, man. So like another podcast on that.
Right. And so I mean, it just, you're finding shit to argue about, and it's nonsense. It's
nuts, man. And I'm so sick of it, dude. I'm telling you, man, I am over it, bro. Yeah. I'm like, enough of this.
And I think we should just fire all Congress. Just fire all of them.
We should just have only governors. That's it.
Oh, no. I'm just talking about the people that are in there. Just tell them they can't be in there anymore and let's elect new people.
No.
I like the system. I like the way it works when it works the way it's supposed to.
I just got my bow restrung, man. I'm kind of down for a little Hunger Games access now, man. I did. I came back from Cabela's on Friday. When you texted me, man, I was at Cabela's getting my compound bow restrung, man.
Goodness.
What was that? What was a little symbol? What was Katniss symbol?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm not ready for Hunger Games.
No.
No, I prefer my creature comforts.
Bro, I still got it.
I like running water, and especially warm running water.
Bro,
showers are nice.
Nah, man, I still got it, man. I still got it. 2 weeks of.
2
weeks of Hunger Games, man, might not be too bad, bro. I guess.
You know me, I'm more than capable of doing what I need to do. I just prefer to take a nice warm shower and eat a bagel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I have to go out and do Mad Max, I'm down. I'll do that if I have to. I don't really want to though.
No, man, I like hot water too much too, man. I'm not trying to take a cold shower.
Right? Man. I like my Mac streaming and my freaking Google News.
So here you go. So here we go. Back on topic. But anyway, so check it out, man. Fun fact for you. Angela Hill is a name that you might know or might not know. She's actually a UFC fighter and is a world kickboxing champion. Is the granddaughter of Barney and Betty Hill.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, so there you go. So a living legacy there going on.
Yeah, and getting back to that story, his death was fascinating to me.
He lived a good long time though.
No, he died fairly young.
I thought it was 30.
She lived a good long time.
30 years later though, like he died 30 years later though, like after the incident. I don't know how old he was when he passed away, but like.
Yeah.
She lived a long. She just recently died. I think she died like
2004. Yeah. 2004 is when she died.
Yeah. So
she died of lung cancer, which.
Yeah.
I mean, she smoked a lot.
Stress, man. Anyways, here's another fun fact for you: is that there's actually a roadside marker at the site that they say this happened in New Hampshire. So if you're in New Hampshire and you're in that area, I'd love to get a picture of that, man. Take it and send it to the channel. That'd be cool, right? But yeah, so they must have went in to do it, to check it out. But another thing about that story too that just came to my mind that makes me think that it was legit is that they had a very specific number. They said 11 gray aliens. 11. Very specific. Yeah. It wasn't like grays or anything like that. Speaking of cheese, I had a cheeseburger last night and I couldn't even tell you how many waitresses was in that place, right? Like I didn't even notice, right? But like 11 gray aliens, right? I was like,
and then they narrowed down the star system too, didn't they?
Yeah. No, they dialed it in, man. Like, and one thing too is like when they were able to recall what they were seeing inside the saucer. But then it also makes me think that, okay, this must be like a low-grade saucer. Like, they don't talk about holograms or anything that are like, so like, could be.
They did actually. That was the thing. The 3D thing that he popped up was a 3D model of the star systems that he
I thought that was on like a HD screen on the wall, though. No? Oh, that's cool. I'll take that back then. I stand corrected. So.
Yeah, there was some interesting details in there.
Yeah.
I think they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I do too, man. And but again, it leads me back to like, what do they want, man? So when I sent you that text message this morning, man, about the Dulce base that I really want to get into, I want to do some research on that. I'll have
to look into that. I haven't really. A lot of this is new to me because I don't. It's not something I've looked into.
You ain't never getting out now, man. You ain't never getting out.
I know. I'm trapped now. I'm in the rabbit hole.
But they were saying that that these grays are like the working class for these reptilians, right?
Okay.
And
so there's a hierarchy there.
There is, man. So there's also too like the reptilians are supposedly the native species of this planet that they evolved from the dinosaurs.
Of this one.
Yeah, is this one, right? And so when you go into looking at if you go read the Bible, if you read Genesis said that there was already great men on the planet. And then if you go in there and look at you go in there and several times in the Bible it references those who live on the earth and in it, right? And these reptilians are supposed to be subterranean. But you also, when you go and you look back, I don't really subscribe too much of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Trismegista. Yeah. But also too, like I said before, every culture on America has a serpent Naga thing all over the place. They live under the grounds or whatnot. And we had this conversation last time. We talked about 100 words for Sasquatch and Native American. If every single civilization has a word for a lizard man or whatever, then they saw some things back in the day. Supposedly, man, they're out there, subterraneans. Not our friends. Shocker. How comes nobody's ever our friends, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Well, humans are kind of violent, man. I mean, they kind of don't.
Come on, man. Kind of violent?
I mean, yeah, just a tiny bit.
Kind of violent?
Yeah,
I did say this, though, man. This would be great on a t-shirt, man. Stop pointing shotguns at aliens, man, and maybe they'll talk to us, right? Just stop.
Right?
Stop pointing shotguns at everything, right? So, damn, bro. Get off my yard.
I shudder to think about what humanity is going to be like when we escape this fucking planet. It's just, I almost think that they're keeping it. If there were aliens, they would want to keep us here on purpose.
But here's my thing, right? So here's another thing too, man. That bothers me, right? That I think that I give this crap way too much thought, right? Look, stop talking to white people. Go to Japan. Go land your UFO over there, and then ease out, man. Stop landing in rednecks' backyards, man. Stop doing that, right? And so, how come these always happen? And I say that with love in my heart for all you rednecks out there, man, with your shotguns. I'll drink a beer and shoot a stop sign with you if you want to, whatever you want to do. But go to Japan.
When the alien comes down, right? Don't point the shotgun at him.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're an alien watching this, land in Tokyo, bro. They will say hi. They will get you something to drink. Jay, you know.
Or Canada. What about Canada? They're really nice.
I don't know, man. Castro's bastards up there, man. I don't know. I don't know what they would do up there, man. But you got to admit, Japan is 100% win, right? 100%, right?
I feel like it would be, because they would at least stop to ask questions first.
Yeah. And so, land there and land your aircraft right in the middle of downtown Tokyo, man, and just don't move it, man.
Shibuya.
Yeah, Shibuya. Land it right there, man. But every time you hear a story about them landing around some white people's always pointing shotguns at them or shooting at them, just start popping off shots, right? Pop, pop, pop. Right? I say that now, but then
America seems pretty friendly. They go, they don't shoot at them there.
Where?
South America.
South America. No, they don't shoot on them, but no one believes them.
No, nobody believes it.
No one believes it. When Mexico shows these great videos, no, it's fake. That's fake, right?
Yeah, completely fake, right? Brazil, these giants walking across the hill. No,
that's not the city. That's a basketball player. Yeah, that's a basketball player.
It's a basketball player.
What pisses me off about that stuff, man? It makes me laugh, right? Is that, bro? That basketball player would have to be 20 feet tall. Right. If you're looking to be that tall from that far away, right?
Yeah, right.
They have no distance, man, perspective on it. And then what gets me too, man, I had a revelation this morning. You can have a mass UFO sighting and 20 people say, dang, man, this boomerang-shaped ship came in here, landed, got out. They scanned us and got back in. One idiot 2 counties over say, oh, it's a drone. And the drone story will run, and then they'll just disregard the other 20. They'll just disregard the other 20 people that were there. It was just a drone. It was just a drone.
Did you see the one that was in Las Vegas, where the cops showed up and the cop was like,
"Oh yeah, no, that was crazy."
The cop was like, "I don't know if I want to go in there,
bro." And again, I hope we never have to throw hands with an alien because they're all 10 feet tall, bro.
Well, I mean, think about it. Earth. So a lot of the planets that we found, they keep saying we found a super Earth. We found a super Earth.
Right.
What that means is it's a bigger planet. Well, a bigger planet is going to have more gravity. So anything coming from a bigger planet with more gravity is going to be strong.
Yeah. I'm not
a lot stronger than something like you or me, right?
Yeah, I ain't throwing hands with a 10-foot alien, man. The same time, though. But yeah, bro. So that's all it is, man. So and wrapping it up here and closing out, man. I'm Team Barney and Betty, man. I say they saw it. I say it happened. if you're gonna, let's just for fun, let's pick the theory here. I will pick the theory that it was actually gray aliens controlled by the Dracos who formed a pact with Eisenhower during World War II. They had permission to farm us in America. That's why the phenomenon only happens in our area, Northern America, whatever. Never hear about Japanese people getting abducted from UFOs. However, though, got something special for the channel next episode, though. I don't want to ruin it, though, but like some good stuff down there as well. But like, it comes out of Australia and England and all those other places a little bit, but like, never really.
Maybe it's white people. White people are too curious for their own good, I think.
Nah, man, like, yeah. So, but
they hear a noise in the woods, they don't run. They go towards the noise. Like, you know what I mean?
That is a fatal flaw, man. Like, so, I go hiking with my wife. She hears something, she bolts. I'm looking like, what is that? She's running.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now those horror movies when they say the white people. When the white people check in the closets, yeah, that's pretty smart. Yeah. That's accurate.
Right.
That's accurate, man, for sure.
Yeah, that's accurate.
All right, Betty and Barney Hill, give me your final theory, Jay.
I definitely think that something happened and that they experienced some traumatic event for sure.
Come on, man, that's so vanilla, man.
It's very consistent.
You got
it's very consistent.
MKUltra. Aliens,
I don't
demons.
have pictures. I think.
Civil rights activist movement target.
It's almost too specific for it to be like an LSD trip. I don't know. I'm unconvinced. Still on the fence.
Still on the fence. So you're gonna. Yeah. So aliens.
Probably not.
Ooh, probably not. All right.
I just don't. I don't understand the whole. Okay, look again. I'm going to go back to the technology thing. If I can travel from this star to another star,
right.
I don't need a needle for a flesh sample.
Ooh, that's a good point.
I don't need a probe, a physical probe, put in a creature to, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I can't argue with that, man.
So those all sound like very human things to do to someone. If you were going to make up a story and mess with somebody and try to wreck their life.
Yeah. So here you go. So here's a good one for you too, man. In closing, man, there's I'll give you some fun light reading or whatever. Oh, by the way. Can you read that? The complete 54 books of
54 book Apocrypha. All right.
Stuff taken out of the Bible. Yo, if anybody's into reading the stuff that was taken out of the Bible, there's some fascinating stories that were removed.
Yeah.
Start with the Book of Giants and then go from there. It's great. So anyways, go read that, Jay. But anyways.
I'll have to check that out. That's a big task there.
So Indrid Cold. Look that guy up, man. Out of your hood up in PA, man. Ingrid or Indrid? I think it's Indrid.
Indrid Cold. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it, but I'll dive deep.
So we're gonna talk about him in a couple episodes down the way. But Indrid Cold, man, go look at that on that.
All right, I'll take a look.
All right, everybody, if you stuck around this long, you're our type of losers. So hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up.
Thanks for giving us your time.
Yeah, give us your time. I don't care if you hit that notification, but you can hit it if you want to. We broke the 500 sub marks. Boom! Giving myself a big dap on that. Thank you for everybody that subscribed. Thank you for all you subscribers. Thank you for everybody that subscribed. Stay with it. Our next goal is to hit 1,000. And that was just kind of cool. Like I'm actually, man. Like I'm pretty proud of that 500. Right? Like so.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. I'm excited about it.
And people that leave comments and stuff like that, thanks for doing that, because I do like to have conversations with people, and we have gotten some really, really good insights and some conversation pieces. Like a guy said he gave me a warning about Bigfoots that I'd never heard before.
Okay. All right.
And he was basically telling me that Bigfoots are spiritual beings, man, and you should not be messing with them at all. Nothing good will come from it, and you should renounce them in the name of Jesus or Yeshua or something like that. What he told me to come across and say it on that, right? I'd never heard that before, right?
Okay.
So I said, thank you. And then now I'm even more scared to talk to him. Like, so what's that? What is that? Like, so, like, but yeah, so that was a pretty good. So if you leave comments, stuff like that, I try to answer every comment. I try to give her, even the ones that are making fun of me. I think you too, Jay, making fun of you, making fun of us. I still reply. Like,
I'm good with that.
Yeah, man. So like, hey, and if you should come hang, I offer a lot. Like I do this a lot, man. When they come in, they're like, hey, look at these two losers. I'm like, yo, man, come hang out with us. I'll hang out with you. Right? Like, look at these two losers talking about X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, yo, man, come talk about it with us. And they're like, I get crickets, man. So like, even if you think we're dorks, probably a little dorky, like kind of nerdy. Yeah. Like, I've got a nerd in me, man. Like I got a little nerd in me, dude.
I'm at peace with it. I don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, I'm too old to give a crap about any of that stuff.
Nerd in me, man. But yeah, so come hang out with us. But thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for people who take the time and share some really good stories, man. Like some of our comments, man, are really good. Like people take a lot of detail and they share a lot of cool things, fascinating things, man. That's one thing I like about this channel the most is that it's like expanded our reach where we're out of our circle where I can get different people's opinions when they come in and talk on it and stuff like that. But so again, highly appreciated. 500 subs, pat on the back, thousands next. Thank you for all of our subscribers. Jay, anything?
No, I'm good. I'm tired. Ready to go to bed.
All right, man. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. We out.
Have a good one.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.